My name is Alejandra, and I was raised by a single mother and an immigrant in this country. Since a really young age, I understood the importance of education and how that would allow me to have a better future for myself. I was lucky enough to have found teachers in my path that had a lot of dedication and were really interested in ensuring that students got the best quality education and that parents were well aware of what resources were available. Now, as a mother and a parent, I want to ensure that my children and the children in my community have access to high quality schools, that they're able to choose schools that work best for their kids, and for parents that are not able to speak the English language, that they still are able to find resources, that they can still be involved, and that they know what to expect from a high quality school. I think all of this is needed, but part of it all comes down to transparency and the importance of being able to know where our money is going to, how schools, our particular schools, are spending that money, and also being involved as parents. And education is a big thing. So if we start from the top with transparency, it will allow us as parents to know where that money is going, and it will cause accountability in all levels within the education system.
Hi, my name is Angela Lopez, and I'm the proud mother of two charter school students, one in high school and the other in elementary. I grew up in a New Mexico town where education seemed to mean everything, but the result of graduating with a high school diploma didn't really prepare anyone to be college, career, or life ready in that town. Interestingly enough, the number one ranked school district in the state of New Mexico did nothing to prepare me for life after high school. As I moved my oldest son into his educational journey, I began to really see the failings within our traditional education system. Starting in pre-K, I was told to prepare for my son to be diagnosed with ADHD or ADD because he was too loud and constantly needed extra work. This was in pre-K. He seemed to be curious about science and math, so I hoped the local district school, which was a STEM magnet school, would be the answer for kindergarten. Unfortunately, there I was met with more concern in parent-teacher conferences about my son potentially needing treatment for his ADD. But they always added a but, that he was really smart and did good work. This lasted until 5th grade, when his teacher, who will always hold a special place in my heart, told me, "No, your son does not have ADD. He's just bored. We need to get him tested for gifted and challenge him more." She then encouraged me to look at various charter schools for middle school to better give my son the environment he needed. My son did not make it into the gifted program, but we were selected in 2 different charter school lotteries. My son and I were then able to choose which program better suited him and where he was most interested in going to school. From that time forward, I have been a charter school advocate and a loud and proud supporter of school choice. All kids deserve a quality education, and in the right school environment that fits their needs, I believe that this is possible.
My story is that my grandparents raised me. My parents were very young when they had me, and I ended up going home with my grandparents from the hospital. There was a couple periods of time throughout my life when my parents decided that they wanted to try to parent or, be involved. So they were divorced, but they both, at one point or another, both tried to take me to get custody for very short periods of time. So when I was with my parents, they were poor, still young. I didn't go to the best schools. They didn't advocate for me at all. And I was kind of moved around quite a bit just because of the going back and forth. So, between moving schools or moving cities, I never got a steady education. When I was with my grandparents, they were comfortable, they were retired. So they were financially stable. So I went to better schools. I went to a Catholic school at one point. And my grandmother was retired again, so she was very active in my schooling, always volunteering at the schools. During change of periods of classes, I would see her and, she'd wave to me and stuff like that. And all my friends knew her. She was just always present, always active. And I feel like during that period of time, I got a lot better of education because one, I was in a better school. Two, she was there. She was advocating for me. She was helping out how she could, just make the school a better place as a whole. I got pregnant very young myself, so I did drop out of high school and ended up going to get my GED after that, but I was a young single mom, so that gave me a little bit of barriers, with education and stuff like that. So I went on and continued to get a college certificate, but I didn't do much after that. I just needed to work and focus on the family. I ended up getting married and having several more kids after that. And so I always have kind of strived to be like my grandmother. I want to be present. I want to be there. I want to be involved. And I guess I just never really knew how to go about that. And of course, right now, just due to COVID, it's hard to get in the schools. And my husband just recently passed away. So that is another thing that is kind of new and kind of throwing myself and my whole family into a loop, with just resources and time and energy and emotional health and all of that. So thank you for listening.